Okay, so a typical trapezoid, you gotta know, I mean, just look at the trapezoid, think about the things you might calculate and you might use in calculating other things. With a focus, of course, on slope and area, okay? So we'll list those. But I started with just the left altitude and the right altitude, obvious aspects of a trapezoid, right? The width might be the next thing we'd list, but I listed run and rise here because I'm thinking slope, right? And I could have then listed slope, but I waited, okay? And, you know, area. And what else do we have to calculate off? An average altitude, so we can calculate area. And, you know, you showed how we take this average altitude and cut the trapezoid and so forth, so you understand the relationship, okay? Now, what do we know? We know the left altitude. Well, look at what we've got labeled here. What is it that we've labeled? What is this?
This is the left altitude.
Uh-huh. What's this?
That's the slope.
And this is?
The width.
Yeah, so we got the left altitude, the slope, and the width, right? So I'm just going to put a check mark on left altitude, slope, and width. And what's the other thing that we know? If we know the width, what do we know?
You know the
Run. Yeah, very good. Okay? So if we've got one or the other of these, we've got them both.
Right.
Okay. Well, how do these things relate? Okay. What's a relationship that we can use? What are two of these things that can be combined to get another one?
You know, they have the left and the right altitudes to find the average altitude.
To find what?
The average altitude.
Yeah, so we can't find that just yet.
No.
Can't find the average altitude because we don't have enough information. We need both altitudes.
So
Okay.
if we have the slope and we have the run, can we find the
Yeah,
rise?
we got the slope and the run, so we can find the rise, because slope is just rise over run.
Right.
So we got a simple relationship that we understand, I think, perfectly well between slope, run, and rise. So we can then, I'll just depict this with arrows. We can take the slope and the run and get the rise. Now that we've got the rise, what else can we find?
We can find the average altitudes. Well,
No, we can't yet.
we can find the right altitude.
Yeah, we can find the right altitude.
Yeah.
Because the rise tells us the difference between the left altitude and the right altitude. So, from the rise and the left altitude, we easily find the right altitude. We couldn't do that before, but now having used the slope and the run, we find the rise, we easily get the right altitude. All these calculations are really easy. Okay? So it's just a matter of seeing what the aspects are and kind of mapping out what we have to see how we find everything else. Well, okay, now what? Well, you are going to say, I'll bet you we can find the area now. Well, actually we can't, because we first have to find the average altitude, right? But you've already said, if we knew the left and right altitude, we'd get that. So I'm assuming that's the next thing you would have said, but you might have thought of something else. Okay? So, you know, it looks like we got everything except the area. And that's easy, because you already see how we do that. We take the width and the average altitude, and we get the area, right? Okay, well, calculate those things. And then we'll try to interpret them.